When I first met Claire, I thought she was the kind of woman who could never betray anyone. She was kind, patient, and had this warmth that made every room feel lighter. We built a life together over 18 years, our home, our memories, and most importantly, our daughter, Emily. She was 17 now, bright and beautiful, with a heart that reminded me so much of her mother. Or at least, the mother I thought I knew. Emily had been dating a young man named Tyler for almost a year. He was polite, respectful, and often came over for dinner. I liked him. He seemed to treat my daughter well, and Claire always said he reminded her of me when I was younger. It felt harmless, until everything fell apart. It started one evening when Emily came home earlier than usual from Tyler's house, visibly upset. She wouldn't talk to me or Claire and locked herself in her room. I thought maybe they had argued. Teen relationships could be intense. But the next day, she left for her friend's house and didn't come back for the weekend. That's when things began to feel off. Claire seemed unusually nervous during those days, checking her phone constantly, avoiding eye contact, and spending long hours running errands. On Sunday night, I decided to check Tyler's social media to see if something had happened between him and Emily. What I found instead shattered me. There was a private story someone had reposted, a blurry picture of Claire and Tyler in a car, holding hands. The caption read, "You never know what goes on behind closed doors." At first, I told myself it must be fake. Maybe edited. But then, a week later, I found Tyler's jacket in our laundry room. It was too much of a coincidence. My hands shook as I confronted Claire. She went pale and tried to deny it, but when I showed her the photo, she broke down completely. Tears streamed down her face as she admitted everything. It had been going on for months. She said it was a mistake, that it just happened, but those words barely registered through my anger. The most twisted part came later. A month after I moved into the guest room, she told me she was pregnant. My first reaction was disbelief, then dread. She didn't even try to claim it was mine. She just cried and said she didn't know what to do. That was the moment I felt something inside me die. The woman I loved had betrayed me, betrayed our daughter, and destroyed our family. Emily found out soon after. She overheard us arguing and confronted her mother. The look on her face when she realized what had happened will haunt me forever. She screamed, threw things, and then ran out of the house. She refused to speak to Claire afterward, and honestly, I didn't blame her. No apology could fix the damage done. I filed for divorce quietly. I didn't want to make it a spectacle, and I wanted to protect Emily as much as possible. I started looking for a new place to live, focusing on rebuilding what little normalcy we had left. That's when my father-in-law, Frank, called me one evening out of the blue. His voice was heavy, almost trembling. "Son," he said softly, "you need to know the truth." At first, I thought he meant about Claire and Tyler, but he said he already knew. Then he told me something I didn't expect, something that made everything even darker. Frank confessed that Claire had struggled with boundaries her entire life, that she had done something similar when she was younger, with one of his friends. He had covered it up back then, hoping she would change. He said he was sorry, for not warning me, for letting me marry her without knowing what she was capable of. I sat there in silence, listening to him apologize over and over. I didn't feel anger anymore, just exhaustion. Frank told me he had already confronted Claire and that she had left town for a while to get help. But I didn't care. I was done. My only focus now was Emily and making sure she never felt abandoned or unsafe again. Months passed. I moved into a small house across town. Emily lived with me full-time, and though she was quieter now, she was slowly healing. Therapy helped her process the betrayal, and I started going too. It wasn't easy, but at least we were moving forward together. Claire tried calling a few times, but I never answered. I didn't hate her, I just couldn't let her back into our lives. Some wounds never heal the way you hope they will. Frank visited us occasionally, bringing groceries or checking on Emily. He told me he blamed himself, but I told him it wasn't his burden to carry anymore. We had to let go of what was broken. One evening, Emily and I sat on the porch watching the sunset. She turned to me and said, "Dad, thank you for not leaving me alone in this mess." That single sentence reminded me why I had to stay strong. Betrayal might have taken my marriage, but it wouldn't take my love for my daughter. And in that quiet moment, as the light faded, I realized something simple but powerful. Sometimes revenge isn't about hurting the one who wronged you. Sometimes it's about surviving with dignity, building something better from the ashes they left behind.